What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Party Chat on Page Rocks. It's been a week.
Yeah. A couple of exciting things. I think at the top of that list is probably the merger between Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Yeah, that's big news this week. We're gonna talk about that in depth. But there's been a whole lot. We got a bunch of announcements for the fall season that we didn't already get, including Shield Hero 2. Hey, apparently.
It's about time.
Did we fix that? Okay. Now, granted, there's always unforeseen delays, and who knows, I may have already missed one, but there's a bunch there. Cyberpunk going from being on the top of the sales chart or download charts in the PlayStation Network to virtually disappearing within 30 days. Tells you how that's going.
I think the strangest thing about that actually is the fact that, like, CD Projekt Red just won't talk about it. like
Nobody wants to talk about it.
I mean,
we all fucked up. CD Projekt Red fucked up. We as consumers fucked up.
Dude, really, it kind of pulled a Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah.
That is
the goddamn best simile you could make.
Yeah, like this was
Game of Thrones.
This was the only thing anybody was talking about for so long. First, because it was going to be amazing, and then, like, because of how terrible it was, and then after a while, everybody just sort of started to pretend like it never existed.
A lot like the Force Awakens trilogy.
Yeah, but like,
or just The Last Jedi at least.
I haven't even spoken about Cyberpunk, like, since probably the last time we talked about it on the show. Like,
I also, until I saw this article, I hadn't even thought about Cyberpunk until I saw this article, and I was like, wow, that just kind of...
Dude, even when they announced the anime, right, I was like, oh, right, Cyberpunk was a game that happened. An anime will probably be pretty cool. Anyway, like, that was it. That was the most amount of power that I devoted to that game. And
I know CD Projekt Red is already developing a new game too. Like they're just like, you know what? This
Mulligan. Mulligan. Okay.
We do.
Yeah, okay, so like, we did The Witcher, that was fantastic. We did do Cyberpunk, that happened, but I'm pretty sure in baseball you get 3 strikes, so maybe
Other cool gaming news. Star Citizen is apparently actually happening now. We are back on schedule. The game exists within the space, the confines of reality. And not Todd Howard. Oh God.
that's Starfield.
Yeah, that's Bethesda. No Man's Sky. Hello Games. What is his name?
Oh, dude, I never.
Who are we looking for?
The dude from Hello Games. Sean Murray. Sean Murray.
I mean,
Star Citizen is happening. Sean Murray is at home shitting his pants.
yeah,
My voice is cracking. I did karaoke last night, and it hurts.
it was pretty good. You do a damn decent Dave Grohl, man.
Thanks. I was not hydrated enough to do Dave Grohl.
Yeah, but so here's the thing about Star Citizen though, right? Is
it going to be just like Cyberpunk, where it just finally comes out?
I just feel like at this we've talked about expectations on the show before and why these are terrible things to have, because nothing's going to exceed your expectations, really. Nothing is going to be so much better than what you think it'll be, that all you're doing is either setting yourself up to be satisfied or horrendously disappointed. And in particular with Star Citizen, like, I've played No Man's Sky. I don't know what it's going to do differently that is going to make it that much better than No Man's Sky.
Have a story.
Uh,
Dude, I'm sorry. The
So if it
the
has a story,
mode for No Man's Sky is very
so if it has a story, right? Then what is there to incentivize me after the story?
probably more stories. Because as far as I understand, 'cause Star Citizen has the same kind of mindset as Elite Dangerous, which is do anything you want whenever you want to. But unlike Elite Dangerous, where it's, hey, you have a ship, go, figure it out. Star Citizen is definitely more hand-holdy, and you get like there's stories to do all kinds of different things, and everything's different, and it's very big. What we thought Cyberpunk was going to be like.
Oh,
Remember when canonically we said my Cyberpunk experience and yours are going to be vastly different story-wise, and then they weren't? Being a
there's a
corpo
lot
mattered for all of 4 seconds.
yeah, all those paths converged very quickly, and like I feel like they did an all right job with there being like certain avenues you could take by virtue of being whatever your background was, but it definitely was not the choice that they made it seem like it was going to be. The deviation was not significant enough to be like, your choices are really going to matter. You could just be like, yeah, so you're going to have things are going to be a little bit different for you and people that choose these things. You know, we've got little, like, I would have been fine if you had told me there was going to be cool shit along the way, not that it was going to impact my core experience. But yeah, so if it's supposed to be like what Cyberpunk was, now I am even more concerned.
Fair enough. No, that's a whole thing. But we've learned a numerous amount of times to stop being excited
Yeah.
for games.
So instead of being like, get excited for Star Citizen, hey,
Be prepared.
maybe check that out when it comes out. You never know what you're going to find.
Instead of be excited for, it's brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves.
The game's coming. It's either going to be good or everybody's going to be mad.
Yeah, it's a pretty... Very rarely does a game come out, and that's not even true, because, like...
Also, gaming news. And this one I have first-hand experience in. The EA Play Early Access for Next Gen Madden came out this week. Now, I haven't played Madden in several years. I switched to 2K because, I don't know, I have ADHD. Whole change of
It's
sport.
time to find a new hobby.
Right, that. But I downloaded the Madden trial, and surprise, surprise, it sucks. And I'm not the only person to think so.
Is this it sucks because it's exactly the same, or it sucks because it's...
It's exactly the same in all the worst ways.
So, yeah, I mean...
Come on, we're on the PS5, and you're trying to tell me that somebody is going to take 4 whole steps with a ball and then still be ruled out of bounds? Like, it's...
Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, like, I understand there are... We made this point before, that, like, oh, it's like real football because refs get it wrong. But this is something that, like, my kids were like, hey, wait a minute. He's not out of bounds. What does it mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really bad. It doesn't look any better, unfortunately. Like, even the PS4 to PS5 from last year wasn't that much of a visual upgrade. But we've also talked about how that's disappointing.
I mean...
This was not a visual upgrade generation. It was a loading speed generation.
I mean, I don't know, man. Call me crazy, but like
The PlayStation 4.5.
I don't need things to be rendered any higher, man. I don't. It's not that big a deal. It looks fine.
when it
Performance.
comes,
I need performance. That's what I want. I want fucking performance. Don't divert resources so that I can see an extra 4 ounces of sweat on somebody's fucking face.
while that's cool and all, sure, I also agree, but there are things in sports games in particular that I feel like we are well past the point where the hardware is the issue. Like crowd animation.
I'm gonna stop you right there, because guess what? That doesn't fucking matter at all. You know what? A good crowd animation, they spend 6 months. They give you the most realistic crowd animation you've ever seen. And you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna look at it once and go, wow, that's really cool. And then you are never gonna notice it ever again.
You're probably right.
Yes, I am.
But what else do they have to do? It's the same game every year.
Start, give you one, and then just update
Date
it
it endlessly.
But like,
You don't make money that way.
correct. So, I mean, and you're not gonna make money. You're gonna, because that's not gonna influence your decision on whether or not you buy the game. If this Madden right now also had fantastic crowd animations, would you purchase it?
I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. Are you gonna purchase it anyway?
No.
That's not a sufficient. That's a whole lot of resources that you're spending that you will get zero return on.
Man, let me have dreams.
You have them, but like, if it doesn't make sense, like maybe find something else to want. Like, don't waste your time wanting something that is actually not going to do you any good. Okay, another perfect example. This one's not even video game related. Everybody will understand this. So, you know, this grand gesture of like, oh, it's like $600 worth of roses as soon as your partner walks through the door. And people are like, oh, I wish I had that. No, 600. Do you know what $600 is? That's like 3 really dope dates. That's like 4 or 5 really, really fancy dinners. That's your the collector's edition of your favorite TV show, box set with commentary and shit.
Premium add-ons.
That is so much other really cool shit, and you want plant matter?
Rose petals that are gonna last for 10 days.
See, like, yeah, it seems really cool until you realize what else. I could have had so much other shit instead.
$600, you could have bought a PlayStation 5.
Could have bought a PlayStation 5!
If you can find one. Still. But I feel like, though, we've been harping the next gen pretty hard since it came out. But I gotta say, I feel like we have been a little unappreciative of how lucky we were to actually get them.
Yeah.
Like, to think that, like, we had them day one, and I had the audacity to bitch that mine came 6 hours later. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's privilege, man. We're over here bitching about how awful the next generation is, and there are people just like, I wish I could play it.
No, I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with the next generation. I do, like, this is, and that's part of what I've attempted to, like, what do you want from Madden? Man, what would make it good?
I can't with the thing, by the
What,
way.
Hackman? Yeah, I know. It's actually been a little distracting.
I know. Because I keep counting.
Yeah, the Pac-Man game we have running, the dude keeps on hitting ghosts and not dying, and it's really frustrating now that I've noticed it.
Yeah, we noticed it earlier that, okay, so he just died again. And now that he's out of lives, he stops dying. He just runs through the ghosts, and there's no consequence.
There's no consequences. One of them, he dies like 14 times. It's insane.
Yeah, this is awful.
But
I need to get a new one.
also, like, because this bears mention about that particular story, after you got it, you, like, did the tech demo, you, like, fired up Bug Snacks, looked at it, and then watched The Office for 14 hours.
That is not true.
Oh, you played a little bit of 2K.
Yeah, dude, I played a bunch of 2K. And then I was
the majority of that
I
time.
was super upset that the story mode of 2K Next Gen was the same story as 2K from the previous gen, and it wasn't supposed to be. Well, I thought it wouldn't be. And then I was kind of upset about it. And then, yeah, it got late, and I was having a bad day, so we watched The Office. Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I get it. Okay.
I just think that's such a brand new piece of machinery. Yes, it is time to watch my comfort show.
I have anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, it tracks, man. Like 2K wasn't hitting for what you wanted. You're like, I'm gonna go to the world where it makes sense. I'm gonna go to
That's what she said.
Well done. Well done. At first I was like, that's a really shitty. That wasn't the joke. Real good. Very good. That's a forbidden
Boy,
jutsu of
how the
comedy.
turntables.
How the turntables indeed. But yeah, so Madden,
Fuck it. Speaking of the world of shows and entertainment, let's circle back to that. Funimation Crunchyroll merger.
yeah, this is actually really exciting. For anybody who is not aware, PlayStation has owned Funimation, or Sony has owned Funimation forever, and well,
I mean, not forever. It's been like 3 years.
Since I've been using the Funimation app.
Yeah.
And now they've just acquired Crunchyroll. And we don't have any details on what exactly that means. They have very explicitly stated that they're looking to create a unified subscription experience as quickly as possible. What that means is still pretty much up in the air.
Yeah, I think the direct quote translated to a unified anime subscription streaming, but they just said experience.
Yeah, it wasn't like one platform. It wasn't. It was a single subscription, which could mean that like
Both apps still exist. You just get free accounts.
You just get if you signing up for one is a sign up for both. You just have a login for each of them with one sub, which is like basically the lamest way it could go down.
Correct.
Which is still not terrible.
Personally, I thought at first I'd like to see just like the Crunchyroll app be the one that remains up, and Funimation just goes back to being a studio that does dubs and other things.
That's the pro gamer move.
Problem with that is I love how functional the Crunchyroll app is, but I also like how pretty the new Funimation app is. I'm sorry, but Crunchyroll's you click on a show and then you have 8 bars in the side to decide what season, and each season is also separated by sub, dub, 6 different languages. They need to clean that up.
You know what I like about Crunchyroll though? Is episodes don't randomly disappear when I'm watching them. That's a really cool thing. That's a cool thing that Crunchyroll has that I really like.
Fuck. Yes.
I like it. Also, when yes.
It's so distracting.
We went ahead and cursed chat. We went ahead and did that. I'm sorry. That was
just
ruthless.
keep going through the ghosts.
Yeah, we should have kept that to ourselves. We just
again.
we are just dude, we're just carriers and we coughed all over chat. That's what happened. Now everybody's diseased. Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. Funimation app, like Crunchyroll, I said
I like how it looks. I said I like the functionality of Crunchyroll with the aesthetic of the Funimation app. So just make a new app and we'll call it
the Crunchy app.
You're gonna skip the whole episode.
Funchyroll.
Yeah, Funchyroll. Funchyroll.
That's what we're calling it.
This is the new service. It's Funchyroll. So yeah, like making a new app, fine. I know, man.
In a row.
It's a bunch. He's not good at this game. This dude's
you know what?
ass.
I can't. Keep talking.
No, keep it up.
It's actually distracting.
Like, if we keep that up, a good
Oh no.
8 minutes of our runtime is going to be about the fucking table.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, so this whole the merger of the apps, right? Keeping Funimation as a studio and just having Crunchyroll as like the distributor is, I think, probably the best way this could go, because then Funimation can focus on producing content without having to divert any resources to keeping their piece of shit app from crumbling to the ground. And Crunchyroll could just then show us all of the cool stuff they do.
Yeah.
That's, I think, best case scenario.
I also think Crunchyroll has the bigger library, so it would make sense for, at the basis of IO games, it makes sense for the big one to absorb the little one.
Yes.
I do also agree that I think they would be best if Funimation gave up all the resources they were spending on having an app and give that to Crunchyroll and put those resources back into doing more high-quality dub work. Hiring new employees, getting more studio space, more cast availability, being able to up the budget on shows. That's the play that makes Sony money, I think. More money. But we try not to raise expectations.
Try not to
around
raise
here.
expectations. So, like, prepare to be
Very disappointed.
Yeah, prepare to be able to have your one subscription and have access to both accounts or both services. That's the lazy play, and the lazy play tends to get made.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it is Sony, not Nintendo. They're not allergic to making money.
Yeah, they're
So, like, there's benefits here. There is a chance. There is that glimmer of hope. But yes, unless it's Odd Future, it's not worth listening to. Except the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen.
there's actually there's a whole lot of anime openers and enders that slap dumb hard.
Oh, yo, how about that, by the way? I don't think we ever got to talk about that on air.
What, the fact that anime theme music is
No, I was talking specifically Jujutsu Kaisen and that song. Why you can't stream it anywhere anymore.
oh right.
Yeah. The drummer was in jail for like bank fraud or something. That whole thing was wild.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
remember
nutty.
you being very angry about a cover that was
Yeah.
like Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, it was just similar enough to make me upset that it wasn't the original.
Yeah.
But yeah, be prepared for the worst, but you never know. Maybe we're gonna get something super cool out of this. That would be
the best.
okay. I thought that was a spider, and I got very scared.
Oh. No, it's not a spider.
But anything else super? Oh, as long as we're on the subject of shows, anybody who has access to Netflix, there's a show on Netflix called Centaur World, and I recommend is basically the be all end all. I would love to attempt to explain it, but it kind of defies that. It's in the vein of like super weird adult animation, but it's also a musical. And like adventure, Adventure Time with a very strange interpretation of centaurs. One of them is a giraffe, and he has the giraffe body, the human torso, the giraffe neck with a human face on it. It's really strange, but it's really, really good. The jokes all land. Once you have the entire thing, the narrative makes perfect sense, and you understand where the show is going. but you spend so much of the show bewildered, I think is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I just couldn't stop just saying what every time.
Yeah, you do a lot. What?
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 What? I was doing that just during your explanation.
Yeah, and and imagine if instead of just a dude with a beard talking, it's a bunch of animated centaurs singing about their weird magic that they can do. They can shoot miniature versions of themselves out of their hooves, and then they hit the ground and go, "Why was I created?" and run off.
Completely musical, or like maybe like Steven Universe level of musical?
Considerably, not completely, but considerably more than Steven Universe. Whereas Steven Universe, you'll have like
A song, an
you will
episode,
have
maybe?
episodes that don't have songs. Very rarely will you have two. I'd say there's probably like 3 mini songs in every episode.
Okay.
3 mini songs that just maybe add up to one full song.
Yeah, and it's from a musical theater aspect. It's because some of these songs will wind up overlapping in ways, which is really cool. And everybody who sings is a decent singer. You know, nobody sounds terrible. And yeah, it defies explanation, but I promise if you give it like an episode, you will probably continue watching just because you have to know.
I shall add it to the list. Yeah. Put it on your lists.
Yeah.
And everybody's list is way too long.
Yep, it's the nature of the pile, man. The pile only ever gets bigger. But considering how like this is a show that's very unlike anything I've ever seen, which is rare to see these days. Now that so many things have been done, original content is kind of hard to come by, which is a perfect tie-in to what separates something from being an homage or a love letter versus being a shameless ripoff. Big part of this is the fact that at this point, just about everything is derivative in some way, shape, or form. Any piece of any video game, any movie, book, the truly like there's never been anything like this are very rare. And that's not a bad thing.
You can only rewrite a hero's journey so many times.
Yeah, and again, it's not a bad thing. There's like, you watch Gargoyles?
Yeah, when I was younger. I don't remember much about it, but I watched it.
But it was dope. The Mighty Ducks, dope. Street Sharks, that was dope. Mummies Alive didn't hit for me. Some people really liked it. Those are all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with different skins.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
And I liked all of them.
SWAT cats.
I could have done. I actually.
Yo, I just core memory unlocked.
Core
just
memory
now.
unlocked something just now, dude. I would take clones of SWAT cats, man. I'll watch a couple of different versions.
Oh my god.
Of a
Where did that even come
special. I want to say that was either
Network was the first time I remember
it
seeing
was
it.
Cartoon Network or Disney.
It was Cartoon Network or Disney. Mm-hmm. Definitely one of those two. I know for a fact it wasn't
It was
Nickelodeon.
not Nickelodeon. Absolutely not.
But yeah, dude, I'll watch a whole bunch of different versions of the two guys who happen to be the dope vigilante jet fighter heroes of their city and fly their super rad jet through buildings to fight crime, and the police chief is so angry about it. Yeah, dude, I'll watch that a bunch.
Did you know the
like-
show was actually created by Hanna-Barbera, the same people that did the Flintstones, the Jetsons, all of that stuff?
Okay, while I'm not necessarily surprised by that,
Would not be high on the guest list.
yeah, just because I associate Hanna-Barbera with like the really older animation style, and well, it's not contemporary anymore, but it's definitely a
That
generation
era.
past the very two-dimensional Flintstones, Jetsons,
Repeating
Penelope Pitstop.
backgrounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's well past that. But yeah, dude, I'll watch a bunch of that, man. That's basic. It's like Top Gun and Batman at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Yeah, like
Now I want to see the SWAT Cats intro with Highway to the Danger Zone dubbed over it.
I dollars to fucking donuts. That's on YouTube somewhere.
Zach, can we get a fact check on that real quick? Can you run that? Can we find out if that video exists?
What video?
SWAT Cats, but with Highway to the Danger Zone?
Yeah, even if it's not the intro, it's like a montage.
AMV.
Yeah, that's had to have been done.
If not, we're doing it. We'll dedicate a day this week to just get SWAT Cat clips and just play Highway. Not even gonna make musical sense. We're just gonna stack clips, put the song on, call it a day.
No editing at all. Is that it? Yep, there it is.
Should we put it on the TV?
Is that possible?
Yeah, I gotta crawl under it.
Hold on.
Wild.
Wow, we are watching that later.
We'll play that for everyone next week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm figuring it out after the break.
So that I'd say SWAT, even something like SWAT Cats, you could still say is like it's the vigilante that protects his hero. That's at odds with the police. At odds with the police. So
Spider-Man, Batman. Yeah, that's...
yeah, there's everything can be attributed in some way, shape, or form to something else. Now, obviously, the further back you go, the less true that is. Like, I don't think, like, you go back to the '60s, first time Star Trek popped up. I guess you could make the argument that it's like Buck Rogers-ish because it happens to take place in the future. But
I was walking along and then I see something.
what the?
What the... I know we thought you were playing something for us again.
Yep.
But no, because there's definitely a stark difference when something is referencing, paying an homage, being like, hey, look at how great this is, versus being a stale ripoff. You know, because it's better. Much better.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that'll qualify this, right? I think one of the things that we've talked about before is being in touch with the source material.
Ooh, look, somebody else wants us to buy followers. Heck yeah. I want to buy 5 million followers right now.
I mean, what's the rate?
Okay, done. Just give it 2 seconds.
That would freak me out, man.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
But yeah, it's the being in touch with the source material, right? The reason that video game movies are starting to do better is because the people who are creating them actually experienced what they're about rather than saw a person from the outside experience the hobby or IP and was like, okay, this is what I gleaned from it. This must be what they like about it.
Yeah, like now that video game movies aren't just executives in corporate suits. Like,
Right. People are like, they're really into these Mario characters. What do we know about them?
let's set them in New York City,
Let's
but
see.
somehow it's prehistoric, but also in the future.
You're like, all right, so it's the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, we can't go too fantasy with this. That's not gonna. So how do we modernize it? What's popping right now?
Excuse me, princess.
Oh, geez. To be fair, they had literally nothing to go on. Like, they had the book that came with Zelda
Yeah.
to make that, and they were like, I don't know, they're called Moblins.
You ever seen the Mario Brothers cartoon either? That was also really bad.
Yeah, this is, and because this is, somebody who has no idea why anybody else would like this, attempting to make it for them. And that's why in the past it hasn't gone very well, because nobody was in touch. But that's changing now, so you do get things that are love letters. Like, I think that
Hot take, Detective Pikachu is absolutely a love letter to Pokemon.
for sure, the amount of care that went into that movie is evident. You know, whether or not you liked it is a different story, but at the very least, the people who made that had played Pokemon.
Can a franchise really write a love letter to itself, though? Is that even you're paying homage to yourself? Because I mean, it was a licensed Pokemon movie.
Well, right, but that's was the director an employee of Game Freak?
No, but
Like,
I guess I feel like when
let's say hypothetically,
because I wouldn't call Dragon Ball Evolution a ripoff by the same rights. Like, yeah, it was an awful movie, but it wasn't ripping off Dragon Ball. It was Dragon Ball, just poorly written. But
okay, I see your point.
Like, for example, a ripoff is obviously like some 2D Flash game that's on Newgrounds where you are an Italian plumber. Italian plumber kills mushrooms. Like, I feel like that's that I feel like that should be more of the centerpiece here. Is like when other series
when it's a different, that's the
is ripping off or paying homage.
talking about video games being turned into movies was a tangent, but
I'd like to pay homage to Mark Zuckerberg, and you should too, by visiting us here on all of our social media platforms, including Facebook. Give us a like.
yeah, that was
Smooth.
that was. Although I was a little like, the fuck about Mark Zuckerberg? What?
You know what else is smooth? Our TikToks, which you can find also here, I think, right?
Yeah, we started doing that too. It's pretty fun.
You can see me dancing in booty shorts.
You can. It's there. But okay, so things that to use Pokemon as the example, right? While it's certainly the most popular, and I would go so far as to say the progenitor of the like monster party genre, there's a ton of games.
Temtem.
That's the Nexamon.
Do my kids play Dragon City on their phones? That is just Pokemon, but all dragons.
Yeah, like
Pocket Mortys.
Dude, most gacha games
Damn. All right.
are
In some way.
because there's a bunch of them. You tend to form a party of them that you spend a lot of time and effort making stronger and stronger and stronger to take on other parties. Shadow Raid Legends.
Raids Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends?
Yes.
Yeah, I had all the pieces there.
They were there, just not in the right order.
They just weren't in the right order.
Cancel our sponsorship for this one.
Yeah, I think I might have blown
There,
that
yeah,
one.
there goes our...
There goes our chance at sponsorship for... Ah, man.
Way to go. Fucked up for life. Sorry, we could just dub it.
We'll dub it
We'll dub it
in the VOD. Nobody record this.
Just do tone bars.
Honor system.
honor system. Okay, yeah, you're right there. Raid Shadow Legends is,
It certainly
it is. Yeah, it's
certainly
kind of Pokemon-y.
but it deviates enough to where that's not the immediate conclusion you're going to draw.
No.
Something like Temtem or Nexamon certainly is. It's
Monster Rancher.
well, Monster Rancher was, dude. I actually just talked. Brett, I talked about this the other day, man. So Monster Rancher was wild. Grant me this tangent, because in Monster Rancher, it was on the PlayStation 1, and the monsters in the game came from these giant stone discs. And what you did was you went to the temple and you were like, I want to pull a monster off of this disc that I have. But the disc is your Linkin Park CD, right? And the game goes, okay, open up the PlayStation, pull Monster Rancher out, put your CD in, and it reads it and generates a monster from that CD.
Yeah. Remember the little handheld game, too, that was the same concept, but with barcodes?
A couple of different people tried that with the weird little like calculator LCD screen. that
Yeah,
had 'em
it
jump
was like
around,
it looked like the Digimon.
yeah, it looked like a the Digimon Digidevice.
No, Digivice.
Digivice, right? Because Digidevice sounds stupid.
You don't think it made weird stupid?
Yeah,
All the time.
all the time, man. Yeah, Digimon is another one of the giant juggernaut Monster Party franchises. That one manages to deviate significantly.
Okay,
because
excuse
of,
me. Digimon is not a. I mean, I guess certain Digimon games were, but Digimon in concept was not a Monster Party. You had one Digimon. Period. End of discussion. Unless it died, then you got another one.
Unless it died.
Listen, I played Digimon World. I killed a lot of Digimon.
Yeah, I should not be responsible for animals. That is a lesson that Digimon has taught me.
When I was younger, I had the problem where I kept forgetting to take my Digimon to the bathroom, and so it would poop everywhere and then evolve into the golden poop. I think we talked about this before.
Dude, yeah,
Real
because-
bad deja vu.
Yeah, because my terrible Digimon story was not setting it to the appropriate time, so it was up from when I had AM and PM reversed. So my Digimon was just awake all night. It would sleep all day because it thought I was sleeping. So I was losing sleep trying to take care of my Digimon and then being like, why is he not doing anything during the day? I would go and check on him at lunch at school and he would still be sleeping. It was very frustrating.
Yo, Tamagotchi's on the comeback, though.
I mean, so it's because it's the 90s and just
Right
like
there. We just said it right there. There is an example of a franchise that took off because they were a ripoff that became the staple. I mean, Digimon at its core was Tamagotchi, wasn't it?
Tamagotchi for boys.
Yeah, it was Tamagotchi. And
Aren't you tired of having your little digital pet just sit there and eat? Don't you want to make it fight other ones? And we were like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
And it worked?
And it worked. And it worked because now I'm a 34-year-old man, and every time I see a new Digimon, I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Do you want to go find vintage, like...
Dude, I don't know. I
Digimon.
didn't have time to take care of a Digimon when I was a kid. I definitely don't now. I'm gonna get into an accident driving the truck at work because my Digimon is hungry.
Not Pokemon Go, Digimon.
That's the other thing is like, cause Pokemon Go, that well of dopamine ran dry very quickly. I think I played that for like 2 weeks and I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
You and literally everybody else. It's weird how like Pokemon Go constantly has these spikes. It's like, oh, we got a bunch of new players. Not anymore. Oh, we got a bunch of players again. Not anymore.
It's like fucking Bitcoin.
Oh, GameStop stonk. But no, I definitely think we've had a lot of things that like the homage ripoff argument can be made. I see it a lot of times about like One Punch Man in particular. Before people realized how self-aware and almost parodical One Punch Man was supposed to be.
It's almost exclusively parodical. Now that they've established it as a parody, they can kind of go wild with it, which is what they started doing in season 2. I'm very excited. I want to see more.
How long until homages and ripoffs just become tropes?
I mean, this is the cycle, man. That's how meta happens.
Like-
all meta means is self-referential.
How many Sword Art Online ripoffs were there until Isekai just became a genre?
Well, I mean, Isekai has been around for way longer than Sword Art Online.
We didn't start calling it like Isekai anime existed in theory, but it wasn't a genre yet. Sword Art Online's kind of started that like
I will buy that. That's when it may have happened like here, but like there's no way things like Magic Knight Rayearth.
They were things that happened, but they were so uncommon that at the time would have been, oh, this is just ripping that off. This is just ripping that off. Well, that's paying it an homage. Now it's just isekai. It's its own genre. It's a trope.
Okay, so you didn't mean trope. You meant genre. Like, when is...
So, tropes too. Genres and tropes. Because, like, all right, so how many super good guy pro tags that are constantly overcoming their limits? Like, how many times has Goku been done?
Well, I mean...
When does it stop being a ripoff?
Well,
and when does it start just being...
Which one is the ripoff, One Piece or Dragon Ball Z?
I think there's enough deviation.
There's also a huge time difference. That becomes a question of age.
But
I am pretty sure Dragon Ball originally was done before One Piece was a twinkle in someone's eye.
furthermore, Dragon Ball is just the tale of Sun Wukong.
Yeah, it's just Journey to the West.
It's just Journey to the... Even... See, this is my point. It's just about whether or not you liked the way they put the pieces together this time. That's really it. That's the be-all, end-all. The difference between an homage and a ripoff is nothing more than whether or not you liked it. It is entirely subjective.
You don't have to attack me this early in the morning.
My God, it's like 8 p.m.
I understand that.
But yeah, that is the exclusive difference. Like, because at the end of the day, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but there are people out there who really like the Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action movie. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. But what am I gonna do? Sit that person down and tell them they're wrong for finding joy in something?
2010.
That seems dickish, right?
Sure. 2010, though.
What about 2010?
That was when the first instance of isekai as a genre had ever been listed.
Okay.
Which is 11 years ago now.
Also, interestingly enough, that was the point given in the over half of the anime that currently exists was made after 2010.
Yeah, and that's...
Which probably, I think we just connected a dot here, that's probably why all these other things suddenly became genres, because suddenly there was a fuckload more.
Correct. You know what there's a fuckload more of? This show. But after the break.
After the break. And it won't be theoretical discussions of genre theory. It'll be us playing Pokemon Unite again, because that game's pretty fun.
Oof.
I like
Oof.
that one.
Oh.
I like that one. That's good.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, before we take off, make sure to go give us a like on Facebook and
Yes.
follow our TikToks. We're funny.
Subscription, interaction. The more you guys talk to us, the more cool stuff we're going to be able to figure out to do. Especially in terms of, like, because, well, we're playing Pokemon Unite again. I'll play anything, man.
Yeah. Should we just keep playing Pokemon Unite until somebody tells us to play something else?
We'll see. If
Or is
something
this our
else,
strike?
we're going to play Pokemon Unite until somebody stops us. What are your demands? To have
Anything.
Anything? Make an offer, dude.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.